We started by promoting reprocessing and promoting plutonium breeder reactors. In fact, during the 1960s, Glenn Seaborg, who was the chairman of the Atomic Energy Commission, promoted what he called the plutonium economy of the future. That came to a screeching halt after 1974, when India, one of the countries that we encouraged to reprocess, used the first plutonium it separated for what he called a peaceful nuclear explosion.
In many significant places among these aspiring nuclear states, what one finds is a considerable degree of frustration and resistance with what I would call the do as I say, not as I do approach to non-proliferation. If we do it, others are likely to do it. It's as simple as that. And our ability to be persuasive in asking others to avoid certain choices is, I think, very much undercut if we don't factor in that our behavior casts a big shadow on how they think about things.
1977, President Carter canceled the licensing of a U.S. reprocessing plant, which had been largely constructed in South Carolina, stating that from our own experience we have concluded that a viable and economic nuclear power program can be sustained without reprocessing and recycling. I think you've heard that again from the MIT study this morning.
The principal thing that came out of Ford and then the Carter administration was not the argument that we weren't going to reprocess. It wasn't that we weren't going to reprocess because it made no economic sense. It wasn't, look at us, we're giving up something good. It was, look at us, we have learned that this makes no sense. What we hear now, looking at the problem 35 years later, is it makes no sense. Not economically, not from a resource point of view.
Ask him a clarifying question.
Certainly. Pete?
I want to ask you just a simple question. When you use the word reprocessing, what do you mean?
I mean dissolving spent fuel and separating the plutonium or plutonium and a mixture of transuranics from the long-lived fission products.
Is it synonymous with breeder reactors?
It was originally justified for breeder reactors. Today it's in the absence of breeder reactors in France, and it's planned in Japan. It's just starting in Japan. The plutonium is being recycled in the reactors from which it came.
When you say France has reprocessing, do
Yes.
they?
Yes, they do. They reprocess.
What percent are they getting out of the one time through as they reprocess it? What are they leaving? What are they getting out?
They're getting out maybe 99% of the plutonium and recycling it, and they also are beginning to recycle the reprocessed uranium.
Thank you.
Sure. So things are not working out so well in Japan, however. Their reprocessing plant is 13 years behind, and they are starting de facto to have to deal with their spent fuel problems with interim storage, which originally they thought they couldn't do.
I think, in large measure, the discussions of reprocessing and which one and what one, I think, is a red herring. We're not going to do reprocessing in this country. We're not. Economically, politically, you name it, we're not going to do that. And I think everybody on this panel, ways or another, would have, I'm not making policy, I'm just telling you that, we're just not going to do it. So the real question is, what should we be doing? Which, of course, is what your panel is supposedly going to do. And what comes out of the discussion is really, what are we going to do for a repository? Right? I mean, that's really where the rubber meets the road.